What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY third-party Transformers review, we're going to be taking a look at the new, from NewAge, NO, or number 25 and number 26, and it is their Herbie and their Vanishing Point, and that is a G1-ish Bumblebee, also a Bumblebee 2.0, and a Cliffjumper. I do like the G1 references here, or even Takara versions here. Nice little packaging. Of course, got the cross-hatching and stuff. You normally would see both of them right there, but obviously they're not going to be in the package. You got NewAge logo there. Come around this side, and you got Warrior. Vanishing Point. That's our Cliffjumper. Mini Warrior. Yep. Come to the back, and you've got him sneaking up on a very blurry Megatron, both due to my focus and the focus of the camera that's doing it. I really got to figure out why it does this. It's like, it's fine out here, but I get up here, and not good. So you got NewAge, ages 15 plus, box art made by those guys, 22-1 made in China. Come around here, you got Herbie. He's espionage. That is our lovely little Bumblebee 2.0. And you also get this nice image here. You got, he's transforming, sort of, more like he's tripping. And at the bottom, you get very similar. It's kind of cool. So, much like the original Flipper version of the very first figure they ever released, you know, they updated it. Kind of like Takara did with their Bumblebee and gave us a Bumblebee 2.0, which this seems to be kind of based on, in a way. Also glad they never gave us a real Cliffjumper, though of course now they're going to have to give us a Critter and other versions that come out of this, and even a like Bumper or Bumble Jumper, and I thought I saw something about that. I could be wrong. NewAge just is dropping reveals right and left. Today they completely revealed all of their Constructicons and their completed Devastator, which is completely fantastic. But they seem to have just left their Minosaur in the dust. So it is what it is. So let's look at these tiny little car boys and see how cool they are. Alright, so here we have our Herbie and Vanishing Point. Now, I'm sure there's a reference to Vanishing Point for some reason with this, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. And you know, I think it's a reference to the Vanishing Point movie, but that had a Challenger in it, and I don't know what the little Porsche guy friend would be here. Maybe it's the fact it goes over a cliff or something, that's why they call it Cliffjumper. I don't know. Herbie is an obvious reference. Also, I would love a real Herbie version of this. I think that'd be fantastic. So as they go, they're their tiny little penny racer forms. They don't really care about making them look like real vehicles, like unlike the rest of the Transformers. You do get much bigger tires, and you do get rolling tires, and pretty good, you know, hiding. I mean, his hands are really obvious, so that sucks a little bit, but pretty good. I mean, it's got metallic painted windows. The whole body is painted, with the exception of the fake wheel there, because obviously that wouldn't be big enough for any of the wheels. Now you do have options when it comes to this, but I'll show that off once we get to robot mode. I do have a tiny little Repro Label Autobot logo right there on the hood. One thing that is different about this to other versions of Bumblebee that I've had, it actually allows you to keep the Autobot logos in both the normal places you would get. You also get silver painted headlights and gray painted bumper. It looks pretty good. So let's look at our Cliffjumpy. Obviously, I put a much bigger Autobot logo there. I didn't have one smaller than that. I think it's fine, to be totally honest. You get a little bit of black there for the intake scoop on this little car. And you get, once again, blue metallic windows. I wish they had painted the headlights, even if they painted them black. I think it would have been an improvement. Same wheels, all that kind of stuff. He does have a spoiler that makes him different. And of course, underneath, same sort of deal. Now, the only thing that kind of sucks about these is I can't figure out any sort of weapon storage, at least for Bumblebee. He has his tiny little pistol, but that's it, and there's nowhere for me to kind of tuck it away that I can see. So that kind of sucks. But we need to do some comparisons. I don't have any Cliffjumpers, so we're going to compare to other Bumblebees. Speaking of which, this is the size difference between the original Flipper and the new one. So this is NewAge's first offer ever. That's their very first Transformer ever. And I love this thing. I love the transformation. I love the way it looks. However, it does not really look cartoon accurate, and they're trying to get closer and closer to cartoon accuracy. and even comic book accuracy or even toy accuracy. This isn't really any of those things, that may be closer to the toy. And obviously you see here, to get the Autobot logos, you got one on the roof and one on the chest, or one on the front, so that kind of sucks. I might keep this one in car mode and use it for a different chunk of the diorama, and then use this one for bot mode, because I think it probably scales better. But for other comparison, we have an actual G1, if nothing else, re-release of Bumblebee, so you can see the penny racer deal going on here. So I fully expect there to be a version that comes with the turbine thingy kind of sticking out the back, and painted lights and silver bumpers and stuff like that down the line, and maybe even black painted windows. So I fully expect them to do a toy repaint of this at some point in time. And for another in the mini bot kind of line, oh, it's dusty, we got Brawn. So Brawn was one of the smallest normal Transformers. Obviously the tape bots are even smaller, but he's one of these small other vehicles that we have, and sort of on the same line, even with, same kind of pinned in wheels. So that's pretty dang cool in my mind. Okay, so if you want to, you can also remove the back wheel, as it were, and knock stuff over with your hand. And he does come initially out of the box with this piece on. It's fully painted little bit here. I guess it's just to be like a backpack. So that's that. Alright guys, so with Bumblebee out there just like that, he Cliffjumper also has accessories in vehicle mode. Also don't know why you would just swap out that one little bit there. So he does come with his little water skis, which are cool, and you get them in 2 different sizes, and something I didn't realize right off the bat, they're magnetic. And you see they got a couple little things there. Now they do have 2 bigger ones. They go in the back, obviously, on the bigger wheels, like so. And then small ones up front. I love that they're magnetic. That just is freaking cool. And then you get this. Yay! That's really freaking cool. Not gonna lie. Something's ever so slightly off. I think I got it right. Looks right. Yeah. Just, it doesn't seem to be sitting flat. Oh, there it goes. Something moved. Now it's sitting flat. Alright, so that's the little Cliffjumper things. I like it. Little water ski mode. Coolness. I wish he could mount his gun in this mode or anything like that. And once again, I don't believe there's any way to store, say, like Bumblebee's gun underneath him, unfortunately. So let's move on. So let's go ahead and get these guys transformed. Of course, make sure you go check out the Taro video. Yeah, that is Transform and Roll Out videos on how to get these guys into their car mode. I did do that already. So for the most part, it's their transformation's almost virtually identical. There's like one small step change between the 2 of them. So let's go ahead and get this open. You start by pulling open the wheels here, like so, and then also flipping this down so that those can open, and that'll reveal the arms. So you can even open them up to that full extent if you want to, and then you can pull out the legs. I almost said rotate. Now you can rotate, and then flip this down. We'll do the legs last. We'll come to the torso here. Go ahead and free up the arms and just bring them up and out of the way. They don't really tab in, they're just sort of resting in this cutout here. So that's good for me. Go ahead and flip the sides of the car in, basically forming the backpack. Clip that down, and then essentially just shut that down. Go ahead and rotate the shoulder so it makes anatomical sense, and then rotate your bicep to where you have the shallow edge of the elbow facing this way. So shoulder down and shallow elbow this way the hands are sort of already oriented, and as you saw, I more or less rotated them out as I was going through it. For the leggies, go ahead and split them. There's just a couple tabs holding everybody together. Now, I guess I can show it here. So what you want to do, go ahead and open this up, and there's a pivoting ball joint right down there. Swing this around. This guy here will swing inward into this gap, and you want to put this little bit right there. See if I can show that better on the other side. So you want to rotate this in like so. See the ball joint right there, and then rotate this 90 degrees and flip it up 90 degrees to go there. Now, this is where it gets ever so slightly confusing. So you want to take this part here, you can see the kind of hood opens, and this sort of flips back. Now there's a hinge right down here, and you want to rotate this out and around at the same time, and then pull the ball joint out of socket. No, that's not what you want to do. Okay, so you need to, hold on, let's clear the leg here. Okay, so if you can do that, you can clear the leg a lot easier. There we go. Now we got some room. And then that will rotate down. You see the wheel stayed in place and spun there. Then for this, you just want this to go doop and go around the wheel like that. Then just sort of make the leg, where's my knee? So the knee is here. Fix your foot, basically like that. So let's try this again, where it sort of makes some sense. Alright, so you can see here the double hinges. So this needs to flip here and then come down like that. See, that was easy. And then this rotates down. Close that up. Rotate the leg to where it makes sense. Fix this like so. Right? Yeah, that's the knee. And just kind of clean it up however best you can. Then the elbows sort of got away from me. So there's our Bumblebee, like so. Why is it so bright? Like it's a little much. There we go. Don't dim that down a little. All right, so for Cliffjumper, it's not a giant change. You know, we're gonna pop that open. Pop these open. We'll get to the part that is different here in a minute. Go ahead and yank the legs out. Rotate, and then flip this up like that. Separate the arms from the car body. Also, these things are tiny, so it's really hard to show off exactly what I'm doing. Close the car door, fold this down. Go ahead and do that. Arm, stay over there. Do that. Close down the little spoiler section. Spoilers. Then this would be the only different step. Tab that up like that, so that becomes the spoiler on his chest. Turn this down, rotate there, flip out hand, turn this down, rotate, oh, not there, rotate there, and the hand's already flipped out, so that's good. Legs, same dealio from the Bumblebee. Pull out, fill in the gap with the door panel, as it were. Kind of flip this out and around, and do that, and do this. Actually, that was a heck of a lot smoother doing it that way. And then straighten out the foot, rotate it at the thigh. Okay, so once again, pull. Let's see if I can show this from a different angle. So pull this out this way, turn, blop. Okay, then bring this back. Oop, that didn't pop up. There we go. Up and around. Why is this? It's funny how it'll work sometimes perfectly and at other times not so much. Straighten it out so the car is facing front. And straighten up the legs. So there's a lot of rotation happening as you go. But there we go. There's our little Cliffy boy in robot mode alongside our little Bumblebee also in robot mode. And don't they look great together? They do. That's a facetious question. They look fantastic together. And you can see here, you know, the Autobot logo that was on the hood is now sort of hidden on the inner foot, and then this new one pops out here. Unfortunately, his roof is different, so the one on his chest is just sort of meh, and the one on his foot really seems to stand out. So, you know, it is what it is. The fact that the elbow swings both directions, honestly, is my biggest bane, or biggest thing that I hate about these little guys. And there's not a lot to hate. I mean, like, let's just look at Bumblebee, for instance. So, I mean, he's painted to the nines, with the exception of the forearm. You know, they've molded the two plastics together there. Honestly, if Hasbro could master multi-color injection on the same pieces and stuff like that, like Bandai does, they would just rule. The aftermarket would be insane, or the Transformers market. But, like, it's just good. Like, the head is painted. It looks like Bumblebee, little chubby. They got these nice little faux windows down here, but it's all like squished down. The backpack, it's incomplete. Let's just be honest here. And the fact that there's a big gaping hole right there bothers me. I don't even know. I don't know. But let's talk articulation just real quick while we're looking at him. So you do get a head that can do that number because he can fly. I'll show you how. You got rotation there. That's good. Shoulder joint, due to transformation, can come up, but it gets a little stuck, like there. Then, of course, you know, it can rotate, it can do all the things. The fact you get bicep rotation along with shoulder, elbow, and all that. The hands can rotate, though it's a little awkward. Sorry, I was getting a phone call from someone I don't know. You do get a waist split, or bend over, whatever you want to call it. This. It looks wrong, so just don't bother, if I'm honest with you. Don't think it's worth your time. I mean, if you don't go full into it, you can do this number. You do get waist rotation, though it also breaks the sculpt. You know, hips, you can go forward all the way, you can go out all the way for Jean-Claude. Thigh rotation, which is crazy. Your knee is very limited, like just right off the bat. But if you kick that yellow piece off to the side, you get all the, you know, extension you want. I mean, realistically, if you wanted to leave that to the inside of his thigh, you could. It just leaves this weird gap over here. So it is what it is. And of course, you get the ball joint ankle, which gives you lots of tiltage. Like I said, I think one of the only things I really dislike about it is that his elbows can fly in all directions. Now, Cliffjumper is exactly the same, so we're not going to bother looking at that, but we can go ahead and look at accessories. So for Bumblebee, he has this super tiny pistol that just goes in his hand, which is already better than the original, which I don't even know where my gun is. It fell out, and it's so tiny, I don't know where it went. So yeah, there's that. And of course, I don't believe there to be any storage at all for the weapon, unless maybe it's in that weird butt crack. As for other accessories, you can pull off whatever that filler piece is, and he comes with the little jetpack that he used at one time. And it's all painted nice and silver. Why they didn't paint the gun, I don't know, because all other accessories are painted, and I completely forgot about Cliffjumper's accessories because he had car accessories, and I completely forgot. And I'm sure some of you were yelling about that. So what I'll probably do is actually film that and insert that separately, so you guys will miss it, and then you'll see me commenting on it. Or you guys will see it, and then you'll see me commenting on me not doing it. As for Cliffjumper in his robot mode, he gets his one big-ass bazooka that you do have to assemble. The front bit does not come mounted to it, so it is what it is. The only thing that sucks about it is I wish he could hold it further back. Like if the handle was up here, so it went over his shoulder. Instead, it's Well, it's like this, and I'm not a fan because you have to have the arm 100% straight. Now, of course, due to how he can do, you can have him doing like a prone position, which I guess is what he did in the cartoon when he was trying to shoot Megatron, though I thought he was trying to shoot him out of the air. Maybe I'm thinking of a different episode. But you can totally do a full-on prone position. It's a little awkward, but you can do it if you have a hill literally made that he can lay on. You can totally do that. So that's pretty cool in its own right, although you can see there how the elbow just sort of goes insane. Like so. I'll just get them all straightened out. And of course they're exactly the same height. There's no difference here. I mean, if anything, Bumblebee might be a hair taller. I mean, might. I don't even know why. Okay, so let's do some quick comparison to other small bots and other NewAge items, or even DX9 items. So, not that long ago, I did the Insecticons, who I would not have guessed are technically taller than these guys. For that, we did our Camera Boys from the Decepticons. Also bigger. Interesting, but still small. Then way back, we get our Spaceship Boy, who is shorter, but still supposed to be a mini bot, as it is. And of course, we get Brawn. So Brawn's roughly the same size as Cosmos, height-wise. Let's put all our Decepticons together here. And we'll have these guys. So that's pretty cool. And then just for a different reference, here is one of the car bots, one of the Datsun boys. Significant height difference. And then the old DX9 primer armor. And yeah, they're giving us a new Prime 2.0, which should be pretty cool. Go ahead and get a picture of that. That's a good set. So, I mean, is this accurate? I don't know. Like, they're okay with their scale, but it's interesting that they completely rescaled this Bumblebee. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So, compared to this Prime, now they may have resized him compared to like their upcoming Prime, which is probably going to be a little bit bigger than the old DX9 Dutch, but we shall see. Now, what I wanted to do, let's get Cliffjumper out of here just for a second so we can see this difference. So for comparison to this is the old Flipper. And you can see he was probably too big. Probably too big for Optimus. Now, it wasn't designed to be able to fit into Optimus's trailer in car mode, which obviously this guy would, but he would be massive for thing. So I think he was meant to scale better in vehicle mode, not to mention you no longer need the giant bulbous chest. It turns into the backpack. The feet are a little bit different in comparison. You know, you do get the more MP 2.0 clown shoes, kind of water shoes, feet aspect. Not as bad, I will say that. But, like, there's some things I really do like about this one. But what's really funny is now it leaves this guy looking like a Magic Square design, which is ironic because the new Magic Square Bumblebee is based off of this. They totally ripped off this design and added some stuff. And then 2 minutes later, this guy came out. And, of course, we got to have one more comparison, don't we? And I fully expect a version of this to come out as well. There's with the G1 because it's not precious. That's definitely not precious. But yeah, I mean, like you can see here, he's that tall compared to Prime. And that might be accurate. That might be a lot more accurate than before. Can't wait to see what they do with their 2.0 Prime to see exactly how they're going to beat even the new like 2.0 refreshed Magic Square Prime that's coming out. It's like, hey, remember how we already made a tiny Light of Freedom? We're making it again, but this time better. I don't understand. I mean, the Legends Wars are pretty dang funny in my opinion. Now, this set is a little pricey for what it is. Not gonna lie, I think it is a tiny bit too expensive for what it is, but it's very cool. The engineering is good, if not slightly over-engineered. I do not like these elbows. That would have been fine with old school elbows. I'm glad we can finally move hands. I'm glad he can finally hold round objects, unlike the original one, which had slots. I do wish he was black instead of gray in his body, but that just comes down to cartoon versus toy accuracy. We have not been shown any of like the deluxe versions like they normally do for virtually every one of these new releases, and even going back and redoing, you know, Starscream, redoing the Datsun Brothers, throwing out a Jazz and stuff like that. So, and now of course a new Prime coming along as well. I've got Transformers all over this desk, by the way, guys. But of course, that's going to be it for this review. I like these guys. Go get them if you want to. I got them from the Chosen Prime, as you saw in the video that I released the other day. And I do have an out-the-box review / reaction to them that will come out after this review. So if you're interested in my initial thoughts and my initial reaction and me trying to figure out how to transform them, by all means, go watch those. And I will see you guys next time. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding.